I just took way too long trying to get my thumbnail right. And I just settled. So I just wanted to share my experience getting the Skyla IUD. I watched a few videos before, well, I watched a lot of videos before I went and got it done. And I actually went to do it in January. It is now April 14th. But they asked me to come back and get it done. They wanted to do a consultation or whatever, even though I'd already done a lot of research and discussed it with another doctor of mine. They wanted to make sure that everything was set. So they asked me to come back. They gave me a depot shot. I'm sorry, that was probably really loud. They gave me a depot shot and they asked me to come back this month. So I went in, not yesterday, but the day before, to get my IUD. And I had heard from a lot of people that it was supposed to be super painful and like you're not supposed to be able to move for the next few days, definitely at least for the rest of the day and most of the next day. And then I also heard some people say didn't hurt at all, not a big deal. My best friend had gotten it done and by herself, no problem. So I wasn't quite sure what to expect. I heard that it's like kind of like a pinching and a stabbing and a very pokey feeling, very crampy. So I've gotten a fair amount of piercings done, as you can see. And I was like, if I can get some piercings, I can get an IUD. It probably feels similar. And I definitely would not say it feels similar. That's what I was like telling myself in my head before I went, kind of just to like calm myself down and make sure that I went there and got it done. So I brought my partner. Well, he made sure he went with me because I was scared. And I had to drive 40 minutes away in order to access the Planned Parenthood that would that I trusted. I didn't want to do it here in the small town that I live in for school. And so we drove 40 minutes out, had to wait probably about an hour, a little under an hour, to check in, sit down. They wanted me to fill out consent forms. My partner had to wait in the waiting room while I filled out consent forms. And then they brought him back and they said, okay, well, we'll have a doctor see you soon. And so I just kind of sat there really nervous. The doctor came in. She just made sure that I understood what I was getting. The Skyla, I chose the Skyla because it is the smallest and it has the least amount of hormones compared, like, other than the copper IUD, which just did not sound like a good idea to me. I don't know. I feel like copper in your body inside of it doesn't sound so good. Whereas, like, hormones, which your body already naturally produces, I don't know. So I chose a Skyla, and I lied down. She talked me through everything. She was even like, I'm going to put my hand on your thigh, soft, soft pressure. And so they put in the speculum, and then they wipe down your cervix so that it's sanitized. And they put in an instrument that measures the length of your uterus to cervix, I believe. So they push it in until it hits the end of your uterus, I believe, if I understand correctly. And then it measures to the exterior of where your cervix is so that they can measure it. And that did not feel good at all. I forgot the word for it already, but the thing that goes in your vagina that opens it so that they can see that already doesn't feel very good. Like, it's not painful, but it's uncomfortable. And the thing that they put in, well, I think they put in something to stretch the cervix first. Yes, that didn't feel good, but the measuring thing really did not feel good. It felt painful, very crampy. She's like, "Oh, it's just a little crampy." I'm like, "No, that's very, very crampy." I didn't scream or anything, but I was definitely squeezing the living crap out of my partner's hands. He can take it though; he's fine. But um, that was really, really uncomfortable. Very, very uncomfortable. It was painful, but definitely more so just extreme discomfort. Um, Definitely felt like piercing in a way, but not like, I don't know how to describe it. It doesn't feel like a piercing. It feels like something's, I don't know, poking you really sharply. And so then they put in the Skyla. That also did not feel good, like at all. But I think the measuring instrument itself felt worse, but the Skyla I felt took longer to put in, which made it worse because it just took so long and it hurt. And then she took a while to get the, I think it's called a speculum, whatever, to take it out. And I feel like she didn't fully collapse it back in, so it was still like open. And like everything hurt down there. Like it didn't feel good at all down there. Like even just I was just cramping, and she pulled out the speculum, and she's like, "Okay, we're all done. How do you feel?" And I sat up and I was like, "Oh, I feel nauseated. I do not feel well. Can I please have some water?" So she brought me water. She brought me 2 small water bottles. And she was like, are you feeling lightheaded or dizzy? I was like, yes. So she's like, okay, well then I don't want you to move. Please stay sitting down and drink the water, and you can get up when you're feeling better. I stopped feeling as lightheaded and dizzy after a little bit. I say a few minutes, maybe 2-3 minutes. But I felt nauseated for the rest of the day. And I got this done. My appointment was at 4. So I got this done around 5. And I was nauseated for the rest of the night. It was I was in pain. I was waddling everywhere because I was super uncomfortable. I didn't even want to stand for the first hour was the worst for sure. I was in a lot of pain. Kind of. And here's the thing is, like, I would do it again. I wouldn't want to, but I would. It's not like the kind of pain that makes you never want to do that again ever, but I think I maybe have a different pain tolerance, not threshold. I definitely feel pain, but I think I tolerate a certain amount of pain, I think more than others do. Um but the first hour I actually had to get out and get a new piercing because one of my jewelry pieces had fallen out and I needed to put it back in. So I had to stop and talk to a piercer because my partner didn't know what size jewelry I needed, and I didn't know how to. I didn't know what gauge I was, and so I had to go in and walk in, and that was horrible. I was glad that I brought my partner because I did not want to drive. I did not feel well. I immediately took 2 extra strength Tylenols, so acetaminophen. She suggested ibuprofen or aspirin, but acetaminophen is what I had, and I immediately took 2 extra strength, so it's 1,000 milligrams. And once that kicked in, the uncomfortable and the pain was like tolerable. Like I went into a food place with him probably about an hour after getting it done and sat down and ate. I was uncomfortable the entire time. slight pain the entire time, but it wasn't unbearable. The first hour was pretty horrible. But I wouldn't say it's like I would have been in my bed curled up in a ball if I could have been. But the fact that I wasn't horrible. It wasn't like I've broken my arm before and woke up without pain meds. That was horrible. That's something I would never want to be in again. This wasn't so bad. It wasn't as bad as that. I definitely do not look forward to getting a new one in 3 years. But it wasn't so bad. So, yes, I would second everyone else's who said it was very uncomfortable. Very, very, very uncomfortable, painful, but not extreme pain, but definitely pain. And the next day, I was still uncomfortable and crampy, but I wasn't in pain anymore. The whole first day I was in pain. I don't say this to dissuade anyone from getting it if they think that's the choice that they believe in getting. I've had the implant before, and I did not like having it. And I had it for 4 years. I had it. That was my first birth control I ever got. It is super easy to get. They give you a numbing shot. I hate needles, so I just look away, and it pinches and it hurts, and I'm like, whatever. They give you a numbing shot. They do it without you looking. It's in. It's wrapped. It's done. This was not that, and I definitely preferred the procedure of getting the implant over the IUD. Absolutely. But I knew that the IUD is what I wanted to go with because it has the least amount of hormones. And when I had my implant, it hurt. And I don't have it anymore, but I can still feel that uncomfortability. I don't feel it when I grab this. But when I grab where my arm had the implant in it, it's still mildly uncomfortable. And I've had it out for about 4 years as well. So I would definitely not dissuade anyone who knows that's the birth control that they want. If the only reason you don't want to get it is because it hurts, I wouldn't use that as an excuse. I wouldn't want to go alone. I am really grateful I brought my partner. I would have had a really crappy day otherwise. But he sat there and he held my hand. And if you have a best friend or a mother who is accepting or a father who's accepting, any sort of support system, bring them. I am 22 years old and I wouldn't want to go alone. But I don't like going alone to any procedures. I can get shots alone, even though I hate shots. But if I'm getting my teeth drilled or anything like that, I'd rather have someone there with me. And that was definitely the case. I won't be going back without a partner or a best friend or close friend or someone who I trust. So that's my experience. That's my opinion. Hopefully I can just add this to the interwebs of IUD knowledge and experience so that people can really understand it. I mean, it's individual, but I don't feel that my experience is incredibly unique. I feel like it's pretty stereotypical. It was uncomfortable. It was painful. The next day I was uncomfortable and sore and I felt like cramping, but nothing out of the ordinary. Nothing that I would imagine people who have heavy cramps I don't think it would be even like that. I don't get heavy cramping, so the cramping was new to me. I do get cramps every once in a while, and so that's what it felt like all day. It was just uncomfortable. And but the day of hurt. I was glad I got it done late in the day because I could sleep it off. And I suggest taking the pain meds before going in. I did not do that. I was in pain. And I don't think there would have been anything wrong with me taking the pain meds before, but make sure that you ask your doctor. I'm not giving medical advice, but the the next time I go in to get one, I'm going to be taking probably both acetaminophen and ibuprofen before I go in. But I'm glad I got it. It doesn't hurt at all. This is the third day, and I don't have any sort of uncomfortability or pain. I haven't tried to feel the strings because they told me not to. They told me that I got to feel for it, but a lot of people pull at them, and that's not good and not safe. So I just trust that it's there. I could feel yesterday that it was there. You could feel it. Now my body's used to it and it's fine, but you could feel it kind of like poking. Like if you lied sideways, you could feel it kind of there, which was uncomfortable, but now today I'm completely fine. Third day and my body is totally acclimated to it. So thank you for watching if you have been watching, and good luck.